morning. Welcome to Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening. We have some new faces for you this morning because the service today is being brought to you by the founding board members for CCSA. A few years ago, a few of us that you'll see here today came together because we were really committed to creating a community for you and for us too that is based in love, that welcomes everyone, so that wherever you're at this morning and whoever you are, you know that you have people around you that are here for you. We love you, we see you, we appreciate you, and we hope very soon that we can be together in person. We have an in-person services that are coming up more frequently now, and we hope that that continues. So thank you for being here. I ask you, if you'd like, join me as I close my eyes now and take a couple of deep breaths. And remind yourself that there is only one power and one presence. There is only love. There's only love. That's all. I invite you to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths with me. And remind yourself that there's only love. There's one power and one presence in all that ever has been and all that ever will be. In this moment, it connects me and it connects you. It connects each of us to the divine, to the magic and the beauty of life. So in this moment, I breathe in and I remind myself of the love that's always just a breath away, the peace and the joy. And I know that in that space, there's perfect health and perfect wholeness. There's prosperity and abundance for myself and for each of you. And for that, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. I hope you enjoy the service today.
Close my eyes, I open my heart, I'll take a deep breath, let the healing start. I lift my hands, I plant my feet, I let love in, I feel the beat that's calling us to rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. I let in my soul, I clear my mind, I'm here and now, in present time. The power of 1,000 suns lighting up the dark. Oh, we rise as one. Oh, rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. You sing to me, change up this noise, make sweet harmony. Come on and rise, oh rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. Rise love's calling. That's why we came. Love's calling, calling out my name. Love's calling. It's why we came. Come on and rise, rise. Spirit, rise up. Rise with me, rise. Come on and rise. Oh, spirit, rise up. Rise in me. Rise up, rise up. Rise up, rise up. Come on and rise up. Come on, lift your hands up, jump. Reach for the sky, go up high, higher, yeah. Rise up. Come on, raise your voice and shout. Love is alive, we're bringing the light brighter, brighter. Rise up. Come on, lift your hands up, jump. Reach for the sky, go up high, higher, yeah. Rise up. Come on, raise your voice and shout. Love is alive, we're bringing the light brighter, brighter. Rise up. Come on and rise up.
Hi there, this is Amanda Town. I'm so honored to be here today with you to share this reading and meditation. And the reading today is from Mark Nepo's book, The Book of Awakening. And this book is full of so many treasures. And so I'll be sharing one of the readings with you today. Our crucial task when in pain or despair is not to let the sour feelings spill into everything so that we stain our sense of the world. Yet we must also take care not to contain our feelings so much that they fester and infect our sense of ourselves. Somewhere between these two extremes awaits the life of healthy expression, not personalizing everything, and not painting the world with our own troubles. Our inner work is often most demanding when we are sad and afraid, for we can so easily be overwhelmed by the power of these emotions that we start to believe the world is less possible or ourselves diminished. Once we feel less than, we stop feeling the truth of what is genuine, and we start losing touch with the great winds of life. Yet somehow life has a way of carrying us along, whether we are aware of it or not. Just as the stream carries both the hungry fish and the sleeping one downstream, the great winds carry both the agitated heart and the peaceful one into tomorrow. Thus, the work of prayer. When we feel least like praying, it is neither a time to inflate or deflate the world or ourselves, but to restore our connection to the powerful currents of life. So now I invite you to close your eyes as we prepare for meditation. And take a deep breath in and exhale. Let it out with a sigh. And feel your breath in your body. Feel it calming you. Feel it centering you. Feel yourself completely here and now. And even when it seems things are falling apart, that things aren't going your way, maybe that you can't catch a break, remember, you are always connected to the powerful currents of life. Breathe that in. This current of life is always there for you. This current of life is always available to you. You are a divine spirit. Remember how special you are. Remember how powerful you are. Remember, you are always supported. Remember, you are always loved. Trust in the truth of this. Trust in this divine love. Know that it is always there for you. Feel into this feeling of love. Feel the energy of this connection. Let it wash over you. Let this love permeate every cell in your body. Let it fill your mind and your spirit. This is what it feels like when you are connected. This is the truth of who you are. Now take a few more breaths. Breathe that in. Let it wash over you. Let it soak in. Let it feed your soul. Namaste.
I've had my share of heartache and sorrow, moments of sadness and lonely despair. I've been down on my knees, begging life please to take this burden I bear. I embrace this pain that I feel, for I know it's birthing me into a greater way of being. I'm ready to receive all the gifts the storm they bring. There's a deeper sense within of God unfolding. Yes, these clouds are lifting me. Lord knows I've tried to run from these battles, but each time I circle to where I began, seem to move on till the learning is done. So teach me perfection there. I embrace this pain that I feel, for I know it's birthing me into a greater way of being. I'm ready to receive all the gifts the storm may bring. Oh, there's a deeper sense within of God unfolding. My light is growing. Yes, these clouds are lifting. They're lifting me. Raise me up to the next glorious mountain. I'm alone each valley and peak. There will be a new me for certain. Every step, every turn, my God's waiting there. I'll bring this it down. This pain that I feel, for I know it's birthing me into a greater way of being. I'm ready to receive all the gifts the storm may bring. Oh Lord, there's a deeper sense within of God unfolding. My light is growing. There's peace in the way. And these clouds are lifted. I know these clouds are lifted me. I'm so grateful. For gifts the storm may bring. These clouds are lifted. I know these clouds are lifted me. Lifted me higher. Grateful for gifts the storm may bring. The rain. I know these clouds let go of the pain. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes to these gifts the storm may bring. You see, it's lifting me higher, making me stronger, moving me forward on to a greater me.
Good morning. Welcome to CCSA, and we are so happy to be with you today and to be able to give Reverend Christy a little break. And I am here. I'm Lisa Lee Morgan. I'm on the board. I'm a founding board member and founding member of our wonderful community. And I thank you all for being part of it. It's just been such an important part of my life the last few years. And it's growing, and we are going to be going into our new home in the latter part of this year or early next year, and we can't wait to see and hug everyone. So with that in mind, I have been thinking a lot recently about storms. Here we are in September. We're in the midst of hurricane season. We have storms coming and going and hitting different parts of the United States and the world, sometimes with devastating effect in certain locations, and then other times, like here in the Carolinas, it's a welcome rain that is wonderful to hear on a metal roof, like we have here in this building. And I wanted to talk about the storms and what we can learn. I recently had a series of dreams that I wanted to relate to you that made me think about this. And in a dream a few weeks ago, in the midst of the Hurricane Ida passing over our heads in this area, I had an incredible dream in which I went down a corridor in the back of a building and passed several doors, and I saw a door with some masking tape on it, and it said that it was the room with my father's name on it. And I thought, oh my gosh, my father died in 1996, so I was thinking, what, history? And either way, I opened the door and there he was. He was standing there. I was elated, and then I was furious. He's been alive all this time and he's been hiding or hear from us. I got so upset. I didn't hear him say, Lisa, let me explain. And instead, I burst into tears and I ran away. And then the next few days, I had a storm, an emotional storm within myself about what the meaning of this was. Some perceived betrayals on my father's part. We had a stormy relationship, maybe too much alike. And I ascribed all these meanings to this dream. And I was very upset, and I dropped into some of my old patterns of beating myself up and harming myself with overeating and just not doing well. And I shared it with some people, and one of the people in this community, thank heavens for this community, one of the wise women of this community asked me a very interesting question. And she said, did you ask your father what he wanted to tell you? And of course I had not. I had just had my reaction, and I had run and made up all these stories. So the next morning, in my meditation, I went into a very deep, deep meditation place, and I went back to the same corridor, the same door, the same room. I opened it, and there was Dad again. His arms were open, and I said, Daddy, what did you want to tell me? And he said, Lisa, I wanted to tell you how much I loved you, how much I always loved you, how much I still love you. And I wanted to welcome you in to my room and let you know that I'm always here for you, every moment of every day, whenever you need me. And of course, I was there. I went into that room and I communed with him in spirit form and with several of my own spirit guides. And I felt the truth of that love. And I felt the truth of my own personal forgiveness. And now I know viscerally that I must always listen to the storm. If something is affecting me emotionally that deeply that I revert to old difficult patterns and self-destruction patterns, then there is a storm of emotion going on in me that needs to be examined. And of course, it's the same politically, it's the same economically, it's the same in any kind of storm. So I wanted to talk a little about that kind of thing. So storms, there's always a surge, some sort of surge, and a crescendo. You know, as you're going through it, even in that dream, I knew something was going on, that I was approaching something that was emotional. When a hurricane is coming, we have that surge of information that begins to come to us. And then we listen and we tell a story. We tell this story to ourselves about what the tension means, about what we track the storm. We weave all kinds of stories. And then, of course, then we're over the top. We're overwhelmed by the crest of the storm. It goes over our heads, through our lives, through our hearts, doing whatever it's going to do. We have to just surrender and let it flow, because if we haven't battened down the hatches, so to speak, before the crest, then we're just going to be floating around in the crazy energy of the storm itself. And then, of course, there is the release, the resilience, and the refuge that we take during the storm and after the storm. And finally, in the end, we've got a mess, but it's much more mellow than it was. So hopefully, if I have designed my home well enough, if I have designed my spiritual support system well enough, then I won't have as much of a mess as I would if I were just out in the open, unsupported, unprotected. And I realized that it's the same for me emotionally. I am so fortunate to have the support network I have through Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening and through my friends and family, whom I now value more than ever, to help me process the storms of my own life. And I also know enough about these stormy differentials. As an engineer and architect, I know that the degree and the severity of a storm is always factored by the difference, the delta variant, so to speak, between the two poles in the storm. The high temperatures of the ocean and the low temperatures of the air, for example, is what makes a hurricane bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's the polarization that tends to create the magnitude for the storm. And I know that this exchange of energy is really important. And one of the things that I've learned through the teachings of CCSA, of Science of Mind, of Law of Attraction, and of Law of One, is that the bigger the difference between the low emotions and the high emotions, between the fear I might be having and the love that I'm wanting in my life, it's that differential that gives me a clue of how far away I am from the truth, that I am one with God and that I am taken care of and held. The world is a good and loving place. And that is also part of the importance of the story I tell about the storm. So I want to tell the story not just of the first reaction to the dream of my father, but of the second reaction to the dream of my father. I want to tell the story of how we have the COVID challenge throughout our community. We have lost many people, and there are other members of the community or their family members who are in dire straits right now. And together as a community, we have been praying and imagining each individual in health, in love, supported by the wonderful healthcare system, by their family members, standing and working and breathing well and feeling good. That's the power of the story. So the intention when I know I'm going into a storm, whether it's a family event or whether it's a hurricane on the horizon, if I set my intention that I'm going to tell the story of service and love during this storm and after, then it is so much easier to get through. There's less mess on the other side. I can enjoy the mellowness of the aftermath rather than the mess of it. And I encourage each of us to reach out in service when these things are on the horizon rather than in focus. And to be of service to someone else will raise my energy, and I will have less of a differential between where my heart energy is and where the truth is, which is that I am loved, that I am enough, that I have enough, and that all is well. And I hope you will enjoy the next storm that comes through your life and have a wonderful story to tell about it at the end. And namaste.
Come on, get ready for love. Come on, get ready for love. Come on, get ready for love. Love, 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 love. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. You can't turn down the darkness, can you? You can turn up the light inside. You can't hurt away to hurt or hate away to hate, but we can heal the divide. Come on, get ready for love. Come on, get ready for love. Come on, get ready for love, 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 love. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. How many generations passes on? How long have we felt this pain? How many more hearts gotta ache before we decide to break this chain? Come on, get ready for love. Come on, get ready for love. Come on, get ready for love, 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 love. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. Hurt people, help people, help people. Help people, heal people, heal people, heal people. Hurt people, bless people, bless people. Bless people, heal people, heal
Hi kids, we miss you so much, and we are hoping that everybody's doing well and back to school and back in the swing of life. We can't wait for you to come back to service, which is, we hope, is happening very soon. And I just want you to know that we see you, we hear you, we appreciate you, and we love you just the way you are.
Hi everybody, I'm Tony Dodona. I'm one of the founding board members. I want to thank everybody for their messages today. I feel very privileged to be here, privileged to be a part of this community. I think today I'm going to do a little throwback on a prosperity moment that happened quite some time ago in my life. My wife and I moved from Pennsylvania to North Carolina, and around that time we had gone through some really, really tough financial times, and Charlotte was going to be a new start for us. And I was here about 6 months, and I got fired from my job that I had moved down here from. And we were really struggling, but we've been practicing these principles for quite some time. This was 1996, 97 in that time. And we used to go out every weekend and we would go look at houses. And we were working on manifesting, a nice home and a great place to raise our family. And we were out one day and we turned into this neighborhood. And clearly this neighborhood was, at the time, logically way beyond our means. Big, beautiful, 4,000 square foot brick homes. And we pulled in and I asked Caroline to get out of the car and go over and pull out the little flyer, and she brought it back to the car, and the price was way, way out of our range. And she looked at me and said, hey, we're over our heads. We're in the wrong neighborhood. And so just kind of jokingly, I looked at her. I said, you doubt me? You doubt the universe? You doubt the greatness of the source, of the one? And we laughed about it a little bit and drove through the neighborhood, and it was beautiful, and really didn't think that much about it. And later on that night, I remember her and I talking about our prosperity, our abundance that we already had in our life, and just realizing that, look, we don't have to have a big home to be happy. We have each other, we have our connection to God, and we're good. And lo and behold, about a week later, a friend of Caroline's came to her and said, hey, I know you guys have been looking for a house, and I've got a friend who lives in this neighborhood in Cabarrus County, and they have 2 mortgages right now because they're building a new house, and they're looking to rent their house. And so Caroline said, yeah, we'll hook us up with them, we'll go talk to them. So we went to go do that, and we turned into the subdivision, and it's the same subdivision that we were in that we thought was way over our heads. And this is literally days or at the most weeks since we had been in there. And met with the guy, looked at the house. Of course, it was beautiful. It was everything we ever wanted. And I was able to make a deal with him in the driveway that day, and we did a lease purchase. And 2 years later, we bought that house. To look at what Lisa talked about, in the storms of your life, right? We're in the middle of the storm. We're in the eye of the hurricane. Financially, things are not going the best for us. And I had, like I said, I moved and lost my job, and I had just found a new job, and we were able to move on into this prosperity. And so over the years, this philosophy, this science of mind, these laws that we live by in staying in that connection with source in the middle of the hurricane, in the middle of the storm, and staying connected to each other. And that's what brings us through. And we hear Christy say often, we're not burying our head in the sand. We're recognizing that maybe our body isn't working right, or a loved one passed, or it's the political environment. We recognize that there are things in this world that are in the storm, but those are things that can pull us away from our connection, our true self, because what we are is what's in here, and what's in here is a part of everything and all of you and all of our community. So I'm grateful to be here. I just feel very, very blessed. And at this time, thank you for your donations. Thank you for your tithes. And I'd like to just give a little blessing. Divine love moving through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Namaste.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
all
is a
that
gift.
I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it all.
You're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. Well, there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
na 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 na.
Wait, one more. This is for y'all.
All that I am.
All that I've been. It's a blessing.
It's so amazing.
I am grateful
Thank you so much for being a part of our Sunday service today. We appreciate you and want to say thank you to everyone who played a part in today's service. We have had a lot of fun as the founding board coming back together and creating this for you today. So thank you so much for being a part of it, and we look forward to seeing you in the future in person at our in-person gatherings. But also don't forget that there are so many ways to stay connected to the community. But besides our YouTube presence here, we also can be reached online on our website. We have a Facebook page. Actually, we have a couple of Facebook pages. And then we also have a newsletter that's coming out every month. So hopefully you can stay tuned with us and stay connected as much as possible. Feel free to reach out to other members in the community, because at this point, I think it's about coming back together after we've been separated a little bit. So thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy. We let the joy wash over us. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the love. We let the love wash over us. We let it be.
All right, yeah. Here we go. Are we on? Yeah. Okay, now I had this idea that at the end of my talk, I would start singing. He's got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole wide world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. She's got brothers and sisters. In her hands, she's got the brothers and sisters. In her hands, she's got the brothers and the sisters. In her hands, she's got the whole world in her hands. We've got the mothers and the fathers. In their hands, we got the mothers and the fathers. In our hands, we got the mothers and the fathers. In our hands, we got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world. In our hands, we got the whole wide world. In our hands, we got the whole wide world. In our hands, we got the whole world in our hands.
Namaste. Yeah. Hi, Christy.
She's gonna be so proud. Hi, I'm Sally. You're gonna have to start it all over again. We were really committed to creating a community that welcomes and loves everyone, a place where you know that regardless of who you are and what you're about, that you can come together in a loving community and be supported. Stop.